Welcome into Vikings Now. I am your host, Patrick Siepman. We are breaking down my post-game reaction following the Vikings 26-20 loss against the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a hell of a game. It was really up and down, and unfortunately our Minnesota Vikings did not end up on top. But we got to see Kellen Mond. We got to see Sean Mannion. It was a ton of fun to see those quarterbacks play out. But first, if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do. We are only 4 subs away. We might actually be there by the time you're seeing this video from 5,200. It will make me look good. It will make this Vikings community grow. This is a huge Vikings community that we could have a chance to grow here. And if you already are subbed, type Skull in the comments. Now, getting into my notes versus the Las Vegas Raiders, straight up, Kellen Mond should be quarterback too. Kellen Mond, there is no reason why Sean Mannion should be getting any more of the first team reps than Kellen Mond. If you look at his stats from the Las Vegas Raiders game, 9 of 14, 119 yards, 2 touchdowns. I thought he actually looked really solid. I thought he had a good amount of mobility in his game. He had that one play where he was running around for 12 seconds, ended up throwing it back of the end zone. There's a shaky little ball that he threw, but I think Kellen Mond, if you're looking at his ability, I think he really showed us something. I think he finally kind of took the next step, and he kind of gave us a reason why the Vikings drafted him. I think this whole training camp, us Vikings fans were kind of curious of, what does Kellen Mond bring to the table? Why was he drafted by the Minnesota Vikings in the 3rd round out of Texas A&M? I think he showed us a glimpse of that. Obviously he is still only in his 2nd year, but I am happy to see that he is going to be getting more of the first team reps. And then if we're addressing Sean Mannion's play against the Las Vegas Raiders, he was Sean Mannion. He didn't really show me anything different that I don't already know from Sean Mannion. But listen, this running back group for the Minnesota Vikings, I think they looked top tier. That was one of my big takeaways, that I think the Vikings do have a chance to have one of the strongest running back groups in the entire NFL. Kene Nwangwu got in there. He looked fantastic. The 5th rounder out of North Carolina, Ty Chandler, he got in there. He looked fantastic. And Kene Nwangwu, after last season having those 2 kick returns for touchdowns, he always looked explosive. And if there was one big takeaway, overarching theme of this game heading into the NFL season, Kene Nwangwu, he deserves touches. Kene Nwangwu, he is just too damn talented to not get him the ball. But then, hey, if you're also looking behind him, Ty Chandler, 5 carries, 50 yards, 10 yards per carry. He also had that elusive kick return. I thought he looked great. And if you're looking at this Vikings running back depth chart as a whole, obviously you got Dalvin Cook. Obviously you got Alexander Mattison. But then you got Kene Nwangwu and Ty Chandler. I think this has a chance to be one of the best running back groups in the league. And Mattison, frankly, he should watch his back, because I understand Mattison, he's been there for a while under this Vikings system that they've been running. But you have Kene Nwangwu and Ty Chandler that just look so explosive. Ty Chandler, again, 5 carries, 50 yards, elusive cuts throughout the game. But hey, I want to ask you guys this. This will also be the pinned comment on today's video. Do the Vikings have the best running back room in the NFL? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Going into this game, I was already high on the Vikings running back group, but after seeing Kene Nwangwu and Ty Chandler in person, they looked pretty damn good. I'm really excited to see them playing out through this next NFL season. Anyways, Harrison Phillips, he looked fantastic. The Vikings picked up Harrison Phillips during this NFL offseason, and when you're thinking about Harrison Phillips and what he could do for this Vikings defense, he could be an anchor. He had 1 tackle for loss, 3 tackles, and a sack in very limited reps today. I thought he looked fantastic. Obviously, Harrison Phillips, not one of the bigger signings of this NFL offseason, but he did look pretty damn good. I would love to see what Harrison Phillips can do for the Vikings in this NFL season. I think he could be a great anchor for this defense, and I also feel like he could open up holes for our linebackers, Eric Kendricks and Jordan Hicks. But anyways, the sponsor of today's video is BetUS. You can go to chatsports.com/bet, and you get a 125% deposit bonus if you use promo code CHAT125. So, for example, if you are a big Vikings fan like I am, and you think the Vikings have a chance to win the NFC North, you can go right now. They are plus 250, meaning if you put a $10 bet down, you would win $25. Those dirty Green Bay Packers, they're actually sitting at minus 200. And we all want to know, we all want to put some money on the Vikings heading into next season. Go down, use promo code CHAT125 at chatsports.com/bet. Anyways, Harrison Phillips, like I was saying earlier, he dominated in his limited amount of reps that he got in today's game versus the Las Vegas Raiders. My number one takeaway that I'll kind of carry on going to the next NFL season is he will be the anchor for this Vikings defense. You know, he will be the big man in the middle that is taking up blocks, taking up double teams. And I always say this, the way offensive linemen have a relationship with the running backs, the defensive linemen have a relationship with the linebackers. Harrison Phillips will be able to open up lanes for Eric Kendricks, Jordan Hicks, allowing them to get easy tackles, and I was just impressed. I thought Harrison Phillips showed us why we signed him in the NFL offseason. Another huge takeaway. Damn, is this wide receiver room deep. This wide receiver room really showed me something today. You have guys like Ihmir Smith-Marsette. You have the new free agent, Albert Wilson, catching 2 touchdowns from Kellen Mond today. He had 2 catches, 22 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the reason why I decided to put this kind of note in there of why I think the Vikings wide receiver room is so deep is because Albert Wilson, he was a guy when the Vikings brought him in, I really didn't think he had a chance to make the roster. If you look at the Vikings depth chart, obviously you got your top dogs. You got the big 3, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, and then you got kind of that next set where it's B.C. Johnson, Ihmir Smith-Marsette, Jalen Nailor, Albert Wilson, and then also Tristan Jackson, the undrafted wide receiver out of Syracuse. He had a couple big-time plays. We know Chisena, he was in there. He had a big 22-yard out route. He's a special teams demon. But if you guys do hate the Green Bay Packers, we can throw a little jab at the Packers even though the Vikings didn't play them today. I want you to go and subscribe to the channel. This channel is hot right now. We have gained around, I think it was 160 subs over the past 7 days. So we have a ton of new fans, ton of new Vikings fans joining this channel. I would love to grow it. Make me look good for my bosses. Go down, hit the link below, youtube.com/Vikings today. Kevin O'Connell's debut. Kevin O'Connell. He made his debut for the Vikings, and he decided, he took a kind of a page out of the Sean McVay coaching book. He decided not to play a bunch of the guys. If you look at the Vikings players who didn't play today, it was Dalvin Cook, Patrick Peterson, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Harrison Smith, Eric Kendricks, and Zadarius Smith. And also Danielle Hunter. You have those main players on the Vikings that just didn't get reps today, and that's kind of what I like to see. You know, if you're looking at the importance of preseason, obviously it's a new system coming into play in Minnesota, but Matt Stafford, he joined the same Sean McVay offense last offseason. Didn't play a snap of preseason. First game against the Chicago Bears, he had 3 touchdowns and 156 passer rating. However, a negative out of the KOC debut were the penalties. I thought they looked sloppy at first, just kind of some tic-tac penalties, but if you're going to, in your coaching debut, if you have those in a preseason game, obviously a little bit of concern. But also, one thing I want to note, Sean Mannion went back in the game on a pretty important fourth quarter drive. Sean Mannion left the game late second quarter. Kellen Mond took over. He looked great. I was a little concerned, or at least curious, on why Sean Mannion went back in the football game. Again, we've been saying this all year long. We know what Sean Mannion is. Kellen Mond kind of has that extra flair where we don't really know about him. Little curious on why Sean Mannion went back in the game. I'd love to hear what Kevin O'Connell had to say. But anyways, follow me on Twitter. I'll be tweeting about the Vikings all NFL season. Follow it right here, Pat Siepman at Pat Siepman NFL. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my debut on Vikings Now, and I thank you guys who made it to the end. I really appreciate it. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes.